We don't have a lot of bikepacking experience, and definitely none in a foreign country, but on an earlier trip from Melbourne to Adelaide, we fell in love with being fully immersed in our surroundings. Whether it was the scenery, the trails, or mostly just the people, it all just clicked. At just over 1,000 kilometres, the route from Penang, Malaysia, along the west coast through to Singapore seemed like a perfect way to spend 2 weeks in a place that's culturally diverse, adventurous but manageable, and best of all, warm. We didn't want the hassle of dragging around excess gear on our first overseas bike adventure, so we kept it pretty light. The plan? Ride about 100 kilometres a day using a mix of roads and trails, and book a hotel a few hours before we finished each day, usually through booking.com or What If. That setup gave us the flexibility to take a day off to explore Kuala Lumpur, or so we thought, and still have a few days left at the end to chill in Singapore. Welcome to day one of our little adventure as we're going to go and ride from Penang back to Singapore. We're currently in Changi Airport after spending the night here in a $350 for 7 hours hotel room. Yes, it was an hourly rate one. My God. We've had a bit of fun getting here, or our gear's going to have a bit of fun getting here. We're hoping it turns up in Penang. We've had a bit of fun checking our bikes and our bags through. We've got our fingers crossed that they turn up in a few hours. We're about to jump on a flight for 90 minutes, landing in Penang, and then we're going to ride off to Georgetown and spend the night. Our trip got off to a rocky start with a cancelled flight, a 12-hour layover in Changi Airport, and a big showstopper. Our bikes arrived in Penang, but nothing else did. Well, we're on the road. We don't have any clothes, but we got bike, and our GPS isn't working, but we're all good. We're moving. The original Red Bull. See what this tastes like. It smells like Red Bull. Just tastes like really strong Red Bull. Holy moly. Give that a try.
It tastes like Red Bull, but 3 times stronger.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? What'd you do?
Nothing.
You sure?
I have to go steal some clothes.
On the bright side, we had a few extra days to explore the seaside town of Georgetown, which was a surprising gem. We made it to Georgetown, got no clothes. Our bikes turned up, so we got to ride here from the airport, so that was pretty good. And now we're just trying to wander around and find some food. I think we've gone too far. I think we
had to go and buy some perfume.
Yeah, because we stink.
Because we've been in the same clothes since we left Australia.
Yeah, we've been wearing these for 36 hours. 2 plane rides, a bike ride, God knows what else. I have no idea where we are. That was completely nuts. What do we have? 5 people, 6 people, 7 people trying to sell us dinners.
Yelling at me.
Yelling, yeah. Do you know what you actually ordered?
I have no fucking idea. No idea.
I think I got noodles. Chicken noodles, I think.
I got chicken something. I think it might have been chicken rice.
Yeah, I don't know. Where are we? We're Carnarvon Street Market. You just kind of sit between the cars and hope for the best. Once our clothes finally arrived, we were on our way. The first few days were all about navigating the coastal roads, adjusting to the heat and humidity, and soaking in the sights and sounds of rural Malaysia. The route took us through small fishing villages, past endless palm plantations, and into bustling market towns. The locals were incredibly welcoming, waving, smiling, and calling out as we passed by. Stopped for about our 14th cold drink for the day. It's about 35 degrees, about 80% humidity. No different from any other day, really. We were just chatting to a local in a little town. He reckons it's not going to rain. Oh, I don't hold his confidence.
We've been wet every afternoon.
We have been rained on or stormed on almost every day in one way, shape or form. Malaysian weather is exactly what you'd expect. Hot, sticky and totally unforgiving. Most afternoons brought a surprise thunderstorm, which added a bit of drama and a few wet socks to our ride. Welcome to a Malaysian afternoon storm. for Port Dickson, and it's on the outskirts of Kuala Lumpur. What they say about the stoplights and the traffic and the lack of pedestrian and cycling facilities is 100% true. The drivers are super friendly though, mostly giving us heaps of space and time, so that's pretty awesome. You got to be pretty aggressive, especially on roundabouts where it's just every human for themselves. Exactly as everyone says, it's pretty intense, and this isn't even a busy part. We're on a back road here. It's just still pretty busy. But it's been fun. If you like the chaos, take control, be a bit bossy, works quite well. Before leaving, we'd heard that Malaysian traffic could be chaotic and that drivers weren't exactly known for following the rules. Whilst it is true that the road rules are more of a suggestion than a requirement, we found most drivers to be pretty chill, even in the cities and on the highways, except for one close call outside Johor Bahru. Actually had a car clip the handlebars. It wasn't going fast, neither was the car. It just folded the mirror back, but don't know why they thought there was room to go through that little gap. No harm, no foul, but yeah, bit of a reminder to keep your wits about you. We learned the best approach was to embrace the chaos, be clear, be predictable, and always indicate what you're doing, and that seemed to earn us road respect to get through safely. Off the main roads, we discovered amazing trails and little back roads that took us through some of the most beautiful and unexpected parts of the country. Tiny towns, coastal beach tracks, and yes, a lot of those palm plantations. The quieter areas brought us face to face with monkeys swinging overhead, and if you were quick with your eyes, you'd spot a giant water monitor lumbering through the undergrowth. Last night we spent the night in Port Dickson, and to be fair, it's kind of sad. Like, it's been built for tourism. There's a lot of hotels, like thousands of rooms. But a lot of the hotels have been abandoned. They're just empty shells. There's empty shops everywhere. It's a beautiful little spot. I think they expected it to be the next Gold Coast or Honolulu, but no one's come. And it's really sad to see. It'd be amazing what it would take to turn it around. As I mentioned, it is a beautiful little spot. We're just riding here along a footpath on the beach, just like Venice. It's been amazing. Not a soul to be seen. One of the unexpected highlights was a spontaneous rest day in Malacca. After messing up our hotel booking in Klang, we only booked one night instead of two, we had to skip Kuala Lumpur. So we pushed further down the coast and gave that extra day to Malacca instead, and wow, what a win. I just stopped the camera, and just as I stopped it, Brewster ran straight over a big lace monitor. It ran out from the bush straight over the top of the thing.
Fucking hell, my heart. Holy shit, I've seen it coming, I couldn't do anything.
Malacca is a cultural melting pot that somehow just works. From the bright red stadhouse, built by the Dutch in 1650, to the temples tucked into the back streets, it's full of stories and surprises. With river cruises, the buzzing night markets of Jonker Street, live music, museums, temples, and even a spinning observation tower, Malacca is an all-you-can-eat cultural buffet. And based on the number of tourists you'll hear before you see them, it's not exactly a secret. Welcome to the chaos that is Jonker Street. There is people everywhere, food everywhere, God knows what else everywhere. It is nuts. This is apparently quiet. Now, we're not exactly master chef material. Neither of us eat seafood, and Rooster isn't keen on spicy food. So yeah, our culinary range is a bit, well, limited. That said, we were never short on options. Local staples like roti canai and nasi lemak became our go-tos. Breakfast usually happened on the move. We'd grab a can of coffee, an OJ, and some kind of mystery bun from a servo or a local corner shop, just for fuel for the day ahead. For lunch or snacks, we'd duck into whatever is nearby. It was a roadside stall, a servo, or occasionally a very classy McDonald's. These quick stops kept us fed and, more importantly, topped up with water in the relentless heat. We carried 3 standard-sized water bottles each and were never more than 2 to 3 hours from a refill. So we've just found these water machines. We've seen a couple, but we didn't know how they worked. We're going to give this a whirl Then we put the money in, put our bottles in, and off we go. So it looks like 0.1 ringgit for 750 mils. So Bruce has got the bottle there. 0.1. Don't know where we put it. Just back that in. Ready? Green button?
Yep. Kind of missed some there.
There you go. Nearly 2 bottles with 0.1 ringgit. That's pretty cool. As with most places in Asia, roadside stalls are either culinary gold or a very digestive gamble. Our rule, if there were locals eating there, we figured we'd survive too. The last 24 hours of our ride turned out to be way more eventful than we'd planned. We knew that getting into Singapore via the causeway would be a bit chaotic. What we didn't count on was a car clipping us, a surprise thunderstorm, and nearly getting arrested. As we rolled into Johor Bahru, a car grazed me on the side. No damage, but definitely a wake-up call. The next morning, we made the smart-sounding decision to leave before sunrise to beat the traffic, but the weather had other plans. We were hit by the heaviest rain of the entire trip. Within minutes, we were soaked and diving for cover at the nearest survey. Because of the delay, we ended up in peak hour mayhem, and then to top it off, we got completely commuted. Our route sent us over a pedestrian bridge with steep, slippery stairs, exactly what you want with 30 kilos of bikes and bags. We made it to the bike lane. When we finally made it to the border, nerves were high, but so was the excitement. It was our first time crossing into another country by bike, and that felt pretty awesome. Crossing into Singapore is chaotic but doable. Fill out the online entry form the day before. For vehicle registration, choose not applicable. When you arrive, find the motorbike lanes and stay left. Embrace the madness. Use the first immigration gates on your left. Pack your patience. It's definitely hurry up and wait. But here's the catch. When you exit immigration on the Singapore side, you need to head into Woodlands. We stayed left, thinking that made sense. But turns out you actually need to move into the middle lanes to access the underpath beneath the expressway. We totally botched it. We took a wrong turn. We got pulled over. Now we're being escorted off the highway. So we lasted 5 minutes in Singapore before we got in trouble. I thought we'd go at least half an hour. Bikes are being loaded into the truck. We're going to be loaded into the truck. And we've been given a warning.
They're like a naughty little schoolgirl.
Yes. Eventually, we were rerouted somewhere allegedly safer and made our way into the city via the rail corridor. A 24-kilometre green pathway from the Singapore Turf Club to Spooner Road near Sentosa Island, and then linked onto Alexandra Park Connector, which delivered us right to the Merlion. While it's a scenic and clever way into the city, our adventure wasn't done yet. I didn't activate my SIM card before I got into Singapore, and I've got no maps because I've got no data. I can't find anywhere with Wi-Fi to activate it. Yet. I thought these would have all been Malaysia problems, not Singapore problems. Well, the good news is we found Wi-Fi, so we can navigate now, and we've eaten, so we're less hungry. Bad news, it's bucketing down again. Singapore is the gift that keeps on giving. We're just coming slowly down a footpath. Nice gentle turn left, and we both crashed, which was rather embarrassing, a little bit painful, but we survived. And the worst part is we didn't need to turn there, we just should have gone straight. It's been a fun morning. After all that, it was pure bliss to check into a nice hotel, rest up, and tackle our final battle. Finding 2 bike boxes to get everything home. 2 days of phone calls, emails, failed missions, and a lot of mild panic later, we scored 3 smaller sized boxes and MacGyvered everything together. The joys of travelling with bikes. Just trying to find bike boxes and then
One down, one to go.
and taking them on the MRT as secretly as possible because they're too big. 1 down, 1 to go, as Rooster just said. With that sorted, we went full tourist mode, sightseeing, exploring the city, and even squeezing in a 5k park run the morning of our flight. As we ran and headed back to the airport, we reflected on the wild contrast between Malaysia and Singapore and started dreaming of where this next ride might take us.